"I've got a spare key," she said. "Just to be on the safe side, you know. I suppose I could always have called a neighbour or the police or whatever, asked them to pop round, but I just had this feeling when he wasn't answering the phone, so I drove down there and let myself in." The woman's face tightened. I could smell it the second I walked through the door. "How long had it been?" Thorne asked. It was not in the information he had been sent by Ellie Kennedy, so Thorne did not know how many days the body of Brian Gibbs had lain undiscovered in the bath before his daughter had found it, how advanced the decomposition had been. She shook her head. "It wasn't much more than a few hours, I don't think, but it wasn't that, it was the blood. I could smell the blood." "Right," Thorne said. "Like meat, when it's on the turn." They were sitting in the front room of a 3-bedroom semi, in a quiet cul-de-sac that backed onto a golf course, a mile or so from the centre of Wokingham. Looking around, as Thorne had entered, it was apparent that the woman he had come to see was fond of crime novels, impressionist prints, and scatter cushions, while the sweat that began to bead on his forehead almost immediately told him that she liked to keep the temperature in her home ridiculously high. He was happy enough to take his jacket off, though he still felt far from relaxed. Perched on the edge of the armchair opposite him, fingers interlaced on her knees, Jackie Gibbs was clearly no more relaxed than he was. "Like meat," she said again, a little more quietly this time. During the silence that followed, a small, fat terrier wandered into the room. It was not the prettiest of dogs, with roomy eyes and a pronounced underbite, but Jackie clearly found it adorable. She rubbed its ears for half a minute and talked softly to it, before ordering the dog back to its basket in the kitchen. As it waddled away, Thorne said, "I don't mind dogs." "He's old," Jackie said, "starting to do his business all over the place, bumping into things. I know I should really take him to the vet's, but I can't bring myself." "It's not easy," Thorne said. She looked around the room as though seeing it for the first time. "I mean, it's just me, isn't it? Rattling around in here. Be even worse once he goes, and I don't think I could get another one. Not for a while, anyway." The room was immaculate. It smelled of polish and some kind of plug-in freshener. People often tidied up before the police paid a visit, but Thorne guessed that this woman had not made a special effort. He looked down at the plate of perfectly arranged digestives and chocolate fingers that she had brought in with the tea. "Have one," she said. Thorne said, "Thank you," and took a digestive. The chocolate fingers were already starting to melt. "My husband and I got divorced as soon as our youngest went to college," she said. Chewing, Thorne looked across at her and she smiled. "Stupid, really. You stay together because of the kids, and then just when they're all set to head out into the big bad world, you make it clear that you've actually been unhappy for however many years, and they feel terrible. Why do people do that?" Thorne shrugged. "I've not got any kids, so—" "So that's why I'm a Gibbs," she said. "Went back to my maiden name as soon as we'd separated, in case you were wondering." Thorne had already worked it out, but said, "OK, anyway." "I'm Gibbs on the internet," she said. Thorne waited. "Internet dating, you know?" She waved away any comment that he might be about to make, though Thorne had no intention of saying anything. "And yes, you do have to watch out for the odd perv or whatever, but there's hundreds of thousands of people doing it these days, especially if you're my age and there's not much chance of meeting anyone at work. I do all the IT at an estate agent's in town, and they're all about 12. Thorne laughed, and she laughed too, and he could feel a trickle of sweat moving behind his ear. Jackie Gibbs was somewhere in her mid to late 40s. She was the kind of woman Christine Treasure would have described as milf-tastic and slowed the fanny magnet down to get a good look at. If there was any grey in her dark hair, she had dyed it out, and her jeans and well-cut white shirt accentuated a figure that a woman 20 years younger would have been happy with. Thorne guessed that she would attract rather more pervs than she had bargained for. "I mean, I'm looking for someone who's at least 18. Nerves or loneliness? Whatever the reason, it was evident that Jackie Gibbs wanted to talk. Thorne was happy enough to let her, relieved to see her relaxing a little, though he was keen to get back to the subject of her father and the manner in which he had died. As it was, she did not make him wait very long. He was doing so well. That's the stupid thing. She spoke casually, as if they'd been talking about her father's death the whole time, as though she had not yanked the conversational wheel and veered away onto her search for love, the way her divorce had messed up her kids, or the health of her terrier.